Hi, and welcome to another episode of Fixicon. I am Fix, and I'm here to help you change your life. So, we're on to episode 2 of the vlog. Obviously, there's a few more episodes of the podcast from a few previous years ago, but yeah, episode 2 of the vlog. This is also available on Spotify and all other good podcasting places. Yeah. Right, that's that spiel done. What are we doing today? Let me check my notes. So, change. That's what we're talking about today. Actually making the changes that we were learning about ourselves last week. Obviously, I spoke to you about listing things that you were dissatisfied with, and that would help you, find out the things you do want, and then, the actions one needs to take to get to where one wants to go. Because manifestation is definitely a two-part thing. One of it is 100% mindset. Like, mindset is so freaking important, and we're going to be working a lot on mindset over the next few weeks. Next week actually is going to be a really good one, talking about our shadows. That might come up again during this episode, but we're going to go deep into that next week. Okay. Forgot my point now. Oh my god. If you too are a lady in your early 40s, you will know where my thoughts have gone. To perimenopause jail. Let's just, change. Yes. So half of it, some of it is manifestation, and then some of it is action. Action is important. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, please give me a new job. Please change my career. Well, I mean, you can. You're not going to get very far, are you? You need to actually do some action. Now, action doesn't have to be like huge. It doesn't have to be mega. In fact, I would highly advise, if this is new to you, start small. And also start individually, okay? Oh, sorry, the cat was being dramatic. Was it Jinx? No, okay, never mind. She's gone. She's calmed down. She's settled on the sofa. Where was I? Oh, yeah, big changes. So, don't aim for your big changes first if you're new to this. And also don't try and do all the changes at once. This is where people really, really go wrong. They get themselves a plan. They're like, okay, I want to do, A. And to do A, I need to do B, C, D, E, and F. And instead of looking at B, C, D, E, and F and going, which one of these shall I prioritize? And then we'll work our way through. They decide to pick up the whole fucking lot at once. Try and spin plates like a crazy person. And then wonder why it all comes crashing down around their ears. Okay? That is madness. Okay, absolute madness. And I know why people do it, because we live in a world where we've been trained to, instant satisfaction. Everything must be done now. If you can't do it straight away, then what's the point in doing it? Nonsense shit. I'll talk a lot about opinions as we go through this journey together. And yeah, opinions are shit. My phrase is, opinions are like our souls. Everybody's got them, and most of them fucking stink. Okay, so just ignore those naysayers. Okay, because those naysayers are going to love it when you drop 10 plates on the floor. But if you're lifting one plate at a time, they're not going to have anything to say because you're not going to drop them. Okay, enough with the weird analogies. Let me get back to my list because I've got myself distracted. Oh, me. So what have I done? Because obviously it's all well and good me telling you to do this stuff, but if you're doing the stuff too, then we're not really journeying together, are we? It's just me telling you nonsense and then just wallowing in my own sadness, which is not okay. So I've actually done some things since last week. This might not seem big to a lot of you, but if you have any kind of neurodivergence, you will know that this was huge, right? I put stuff on eBay to sell. Now, to the average mind, that's like, okay, and do you know how long that pile of stuff has been in the corner of my room looking at me, right? Do you know how exhausted my brain felt just even thinking about photographing and putting that stuff on the internet, right? It was a challenge. It was too big of a challenge. And I realised that actually if I was going to complete it, I needed to break it down into smaller tasks. That's another good tip as well. Break down tasks into smaller tasks if they seem too overwhelming. And while this might seem like a small challenge to some, it was a very big challenge to me. So how I broke it down was I did it in 2 stages. I got everything out and I photographed it all because it's not a big job. I hadn't really got to do too much thinking. Got it all photographed. Left the photographs on my phone. Then one night, when there was nothing in particular on television and I got half an hour free, I was like, I'm going to get these all uploaded onto eBay. which I did, and it was a lot faster than I thought. They've got some weird like AI like writing thing now. I did try it for one of my listings, but I deleted it because it made it sound way fancier than my secondhand shit was. But, you know, if you're that way inclined and you're not worried about the water on the planet or whatever, you know, use the AI. Make it a little bit easier. And so I've sold some stuff. It's got out of my house. Now, don't get me wrong, like I could have sold it for more if I'd held out for longer or if I'd sold it in a different way. But I'd had stuff set on Vinted for ages. It wasn't going anywhere. And money is a weird thing. People will keep on to stuff because they'll be like, oh, it's worth more than that. You know, this is worth £30 and people have only offered me 20. Well, it's still 20 quid that it wasn't fucking giving you when it was sat on your bedroom floor. Like, so just get rid. I mean, Jesus Christ, I had pairs of trainers go for like 99p. I don't care. I just want it gone. I have donated a lot of stuff to the charity as well. But to be honest, I don't know about you lot, but I'm real mad at the prices in charity shops lately. So I'd rather sell it directly to somebody on eBay because they'll probably get cheaper than they would in the charity shop anyway, and it'll be delivered to their damn house. So, yep, there's that. So, did that. Not a big challenge for some people, but actually freaking huge news for me. I had to message my friend Danielle and tell her that I'd done really well. And she messaged me back and told me that I had done well. So that was cool. What else have I done? Oh, I booked a haircut. Now, you might think, oh, Vicky, your hair is fine. This hair has not seen a hairdresser for 3 years. As you know, that's a tiny bit of a lie. I cut my own fringe in a few months back because I saw some old pictures of me and I was like, oh, you look kind of cute with the fringe. Plus, you know, free Botox because the fringe covers the crinkles. Got home, got the scissors, did a terrible job, of course, as everybody does who cuts in a fringe at home. Luckily, many of my clients are hairdressers. One in particular, Louise, was just like, I will just come to your shop with my scissors. Like, so she fixed what she could with my fringe, but she was like, dude, you've messed it up to such a point that I've got to let some of it just sit, and then it's just gonna have to grow in. But then not only that has gone on with my hair, but also the last 6 to 12 months or so, the enormous amount of stress I have been under has actually made my hair start to fall out. Plus the hormone changes of being a perimenopausal woman has made my hair go a bit thin. So I'm on the old collagen, I have been for a month. So plan is get rid of it all, well, as much as one can, and then hopefully it will grow in all thick and lovely again, because I'm refusing to be stressed this year and I'm not going to be losing any more clumps of hair. That is not okay. But I'm very excited about that. I do have to be careful with how short I cut my hair though, because hilariously, if it goes sort of anywhere, if it's below my ears is probably like the maximum shortness. I can wear it shorter than that, but then it does not obey gravity, and it sticks upright like I have put my fingers in an electrical socket, which was super fun when I was growing out my buzz cut, by the way. There was about 4 months of my life where I'd have to get up in the morning and like cover my head in gel and then smooth it flat and like put a beanie on it until it had dried into like a helmet, and then just pray that it did not freaking rain. It was insane. So that's another thing I've done for myself, because self-care is actually really important to mindset. If you don't look cute, you don't feel confident, or at least that's what I find. My hair has been making me really sad. As a Leo, my hair is my main, it is my pride and joy, and for it to go all like sad, it's been kind of depressing. So it's really important that I've done that. It's actually another one of my clients I've booked in with. I get so much of my services from people who come to my studio, because if you don't know this about me, but I have a whole other business. I run a really successful body piercing studio, and so like I meet a huge range of people, which means like, you know, I can just call a client and be like, yeah, you cut hair, can I come in and see you? So yeah, I'm very excited about that. She's a lovely lady, so she should do a really nice job. I am thinking French bob, short fringe. And that should be fabulous, because also the short fringe means it's got time to grow in before I need a haircut, because I'm really bad at getting haircuts. It's because I just forget about stuff. This is the problem with being a type B. Like all of a sudden it's like 20 years later and you didn't do the thing that you thought of. But also I have like a bit of a morbid fear of hairdressers. This is no offense to the hairdressing community. It's just when I was younger, I had a lot of haircuts that were not what I wanted. And then I spent probably 10 years letting my friend cut my hair. She used to trim it for me. Or she'd do my dye jobs for me as well, which she was so sweet at that, bless her. Apart from the one time she had to bleach my head, she was real mad at me about that because I had hair down to here at that time. It took her so long. Anyway, that's by the by. I booked a haircut. Good for me. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to book in a massage. I used to get monthly massages. Like, my job, I spend a lot of time like this, stabby, because of body piercer. So, consequently, I suffer. And before, 2023, under 2023, I used to get monthly massages. And then I cancelled my appointment because I was going to be out of the country for a month. And then when I came back, I just never rebooked back in. And I'll be real with you, I'm absolutely terrified about booking back in now because I don't just get like a massage, I get a Thai massage. I get a tiny woman who is stronger than the Hulk beat the living bejesus out of me. And I know the longer it is, the worse the beating's going to be. And yeah, now I'm in like a cycle of being terrified, but also knowing the longer I'm terrified, the worse it's going to be. But I am going to big up and do that this week. Now, I'm well aware that, casual haircuts and massages aren't in everyone's budget. The fact is, I am, wealthier than I was when I first started this journey. I'm having to restart for my own personal reasons, but I'm in a much better position financially. Like 10 years ago, Jesus Christ, I was at like minimum wage, living in a flat full of mold. And now I have like a crazy successful business and employees and stuff. Like it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But low budget doesn't mean no treats, okay? Because there's so many ways that you can like still have these like luxe experiences. A little bit of a budge, okay? So one of my favorite things was always the beauty schools. When I was a student, when I was younger, I would often get if I was getting a haircut, I'd go to the beauty school. If I was going to get my eyebrows done, I'd go. They do massage there because they train them in all sorts now. And it's a really good way to get treatments for a much cheaper price, but also you're actually actively helping somebody's education, which I think is awesome. So that is definitely a good one. Another thing is you can do it at home. If you are blessed to have a bath in your house, I am so jealous of you. And you can have like spa times all the time. Literally just go and buy like a cheap thing of Himalayan salt from B&M, dump it in your tub, load of candles, a little bit of blinky plunky music. You've made your own little tiny spa, and it's lovely. Oh God, I miss baths so much. I really, really do. So yeah, beauty school, your own bathroom. You can sometimes if I know someone's going away and they've got a pet, go spend the night at their house, offer to feed their pet. And you pretend you're in a hotel for the night. There's so many things you can do when you're on a budget. You just kind of have to be imaginative with it. Okay. The final change I have made this week is I have started hula hooping again. As we discussed last time, my exercise really, really fell off. At the end of 2023, I ended up cancelling my gym membership in 2024 because I was not wasting money on it. Because I knew I wasn't going, so there's no point kidding myself about it. But I have started hula hooping again. 1, for fitness, and 2, for my subconscious. Because you need to kind of get your subconscious to believe that you can do stuff. Shadow work and stuff and deprogramming we're going to get really deep into next week. But this is like a really minor thing into that. So if you're really bad at if you're an ideas person and then really bad at following through, it kind of tells your subconscious that you don't really follow through, and then you don't really follow through. Like, that's just natural. But if you could set yourself like a small challenge and do it on repeat, it kind of proves to your subconscious that you have stickability, shall we say. You have follow through. That's the word I was after. Follow through. Oh, sorry about that. The filming just got a little bit too long there. There'll be a bit of a dodgy edit there. I'm learning editing. Oh my God, I keep smacking this microphone. I hope it doesn't come over on the sound. I'm really not working well with this microphone, but also I talk with my hands, so I feel like if I hold it, it's just going to be a lot of whoa. Yeah, so that's not great either. Back to my list, because I've just been rolling. Just been downloading information and sending it straight out to you, but let's get back to the list. Oh yeah, so still talking about me. Oh no. But no, we are. So while I've made little changes this week, I am quite far ahead of this journey. I need to be making some big changes. I am capable of that. I'm just not doing it. I'm stalling on it. So that's why we're going to get into shadow work next week, because I need to revisit my shadow self. I need to revisit these things that are making me like, oh, hang on a second. I need to revisit them, and I need to get them out of there. Because I need to be booking plane tickets. Like, there's other things I need to be doing as well. And obviously, even just like recording and putting this online is freaking awesome, because I've been promising myself I'd do this for ages. But yeah, I need to like, plane tickets, that's a big thing, because that's a financial thing, and you've really got to believe in yourself for that, especially the places I go. Short haul is fine, but long haul is like way more fun. Honestly, like a lot of people like they're not a big fan of planes, or they get nervous flying. For me, that feeling like when the jet picks up enough speed to just go up and you get that little flip in your belly, oh yeah, that's right up there for me. That's right up there. That's my favourite little feeling in the world. If you ever spot me on a plane during that time, you'll probably see me just kind of having a little smile to myself, like a freaking crazy person, because I travel alone a lot. Why is that weird lady on her own smiling to herself? It's probably what people say, but also, who cares? Other people's opinions of me are really none of my business. And that's a really important thing to remember. We'll probably get into that in future episodes as well. But yeah, what other people think of you is really none of your business at all. Why do you care? You shouldn't care. They never take, never take the opinion of somebody who you wouldn't ask advice from. I don't know, some nonsense anyway. It's probably a better quote. You know what it is. Right, back to the list. Oh no, that's everything. Hey, the list is done. So hopefully by the time I see you next week, I'll have worked on my shadow self. We're going to have a really interesting episode on shadow selves. You're probably going to want to bring a notepad along for that. Or maybe not, actually, because I had forgotten one important thing. I am going to be releasing courses that you can do in your own time to improve your own life. The first one is going to be absolutely free of charge. As soon as it's ready to launch, I'll put it out on all social medias, and all you'll need to do is drop us an email and it will send you the course in return. Hopefully it should be really helpful, because you haven't got to listen to my nonsense. It's all written in front of you, so you can take your time with it, and hopefully make some big changes. So it was lovely chatting to you all again. Thank you so much if you tuned in again from last week. I feel a little bit more relaxed this week. Last week I was absolutely pooping my pants. I've noticed I'm a bit more free and easy this week, because I don't care as much. Confidence is coming, and that is good. There'll probably be someone somewhere who's like, but also, who cares? Also, I have a new light this week. Still kind of shadowy, but nicer face. Well, sorry for the podcast listeners, you can't see my face. That may be a good or bad thing, depending on your opinion of my face. Right, so I would love to hear from you guys about what changes you are making in your lives, big or small. I want to hear about it, even if it's just something as small as buying, like, I don't know, underwear that matches. That's a big change. If you bought all black socks so they all match, I want to know about it. Like, so you've always got matching socks. You're never going to struggle to find the other pair. I did that a few years ago, by the way, and it's absolutely banging. Because you've never got to worry about losing a sock, because they're all the same sock. Brilliant. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I believe that is the cool thing to say. If you're on any of the podcast places, leave me a little comment. And if you're on Instagram, tag me in your stories. Let me know what you're doing. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it, because it's really exciting to me when I hear about other people making changes, because the only person who has power over what happens to you in this life is you. So put your big girl pants on, make some awesome changes. Right, I will speak to you all next week. Bye.